Just like, whoa, you nice wear, dogs. You got 50 followers, and you following 50,000. Your numbers ain't adding up, brother.
It don't make sense. And then like this particular gentleman, right? He sat there. He said what he said or whatever. And
Right.
then like even I checked him out before. Like he sent me the message. I checked him out before I responded.
Mm-hmm.
But then I went and I did additional research.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this dude is doing little hole in the wall spots. And his bar set because you know being where we've come from and where we are today,
Right.
we've had people that come in and have bars,
Right.
and then you have people that have bars, right? So he's not even confident enough in his craft to be able to spit his bars slow.
Mm.
So he's one of those.
He's one of those nervous rappers.
Right, so he
Even if the beat's slow, he rushing up.
right, so
Yeah.
he rushing his joint because he's like, yo, you know what? He don't even know how to adjust to.
His stage presence isn't there. He doesn't know. He hasn't really performed at that top level. You know what I'm saying? And once my thing is this, man. I'm not going to sit here and say like, I'm the best radio host or I'm the best interviewer or whatever. But I
But
know
I
my
do
skills
my
is
damn thing.
yeah. I know my skills is up to par. Like I'm not nervous. How you put anybody in front of me, we getting it popping. Like that's just how I am. I'm dope with it. But my thing is I'm not overconfident either. I know where my skills are. I know where I need work, and it just is what it is. I think that the problem with a lot of these artists now is that they look at these other artists in the game and they see fast results. They see fast rising young artists, but they don't see the grind that these artists put in. Because you got to think about it like this, man. You see cats like you'll see cats like some of these new whoever. You think that they was gonna go to a radio station and be like, your platform isn't big enough for me to even sit down with you, or whatever the case, or whatever that dude had told you, or whatever the case may be. No, they were taking every interview possible. This is the thing that that kind of aggravates me now about the game. It's like, when y'all gonna realize that there's no shortcuts to this music shit. There's no shortcuts. I don't care how nice you think you are. These labels will eat you up and spit you out. There's no
All
shortcuts
day.
in this game.
All day.
Man, there's no shortcuts in this game, man. You gotta work and work hard. You gotta put in that work. You gotta appreciate the fact that you coming from the grind, and you gotta appreciate the fact that you coming from the bottom up. It's a lot of things that these new artists fail to realize, and it's a lot of things that these new artists don't put into perspective. And one of the things is, you can't think that you bigger than what you really are. That's just me. That's my perception. That's how I see things. You can envision it, yeah, but it's a difference between envisioning it and then you acting it out to the point where now your arrogance and your cockiness comes off as a turn off to certain people. You're gonna turn a lot of people off with that attitude, man. I feel that the more humble you are, the more humbled you carry yourself, the better opportunities you get. Probably more doors will open up for you in the long run. You gotta be confident in your craft. And confidence doesn't necessarily come off as cockiness. You can be a humble confident, right? You could be that dude that that he comes into the interviews, but all he wants to do is rap, right? It's a plethora of dudes out there where they'll come in the interview, and yeah, of course, they may need a little help with the interview process, and they may need a little help learning how to interview with an interviewer. But when they get there and you ask them, yo, need a freestyle, spit some, they ready. That's a person who has dedicated themselves to their craft so much that all they need to hear is go, and they going. And that's the thing that a lot of these new rappers or new artists, because I'm not even gonna say they're rappers, because a lot of these dudes, they're not rappers. A lot of these dudes are just like minstrel shows now, man. And it's sad to say, like, a lot of these dudes, they'll do whatever these labels tell them to do, as long as they getting that check dangled in their face with that with that chain or that car or that house or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not as bad as it was before, but you know, these labels will still get to sink their teeth in you a little bit. So, you know, I say that because, you know, these labels know what a weak individual looks like. These labels know that the more cocky you come into the game,
the more they gonna rape
the more
you.
not even the more they gon' yeah, the more they pretty much gonna rape you, dogs, because they gon' thrust you into that spotlight because he feel he ready. So they gonna thrust you into the spotlight. And let's say you do have that talent, right? I'm not gonna take nobody talent away from them. Let's say you got balls. Let's say you nice. They hook you up with a mean producer, a dope producer, and you got a hit. Let's say you got a hit. Cool. What's next? Tours. Dope. Now you're gonna have to tour certain cities: L.A., New York, Chicago, Atlanta, you know, New Orleans. Certain tour dates you'll have to go on, and you'll have to do radio dates. Now let's say you got to do an internet radio show. You gonna sit there and tell me that because this internet radio show isn't to your popping standards, you're not gonna do it? Your label gonna look at you like, dog, you better get your ass in that chair and sit down and talk to them people. You take whatever you get.
It's crazy because at the point of him saying that, now, you guys, you know, and your wife know, that there's a lot of things just from looking at the station from the outside in, like people don't see.
Right.
Right? So, and from just our YouTube actual post and
Right.
and from everything that we go, I was talking to my man today.
Okay.
Me and him went to elementary school together.
Okay.
He has a tech company that he runs in the Bronx.
Okay, that's dope.
So
Shout to your mans.
right, so me and him talking, and he's like, "Yo," he's talking about the radio station and how we was gonna move forward and
Right.
everything else.
Okay.
Now, because of him, I met the owner of the Matrix radio station. So DSN, right? They used to be located in the Bronx. They just moved to a spot in Times Square, so they're on 42nd Street right now.
I remember they was in the Bronx.
They were right there. As soon as you cross the bridge, they was right there.
Yeah.
They was in the hood.
Yeah, I remember that. It was but not
it was
for
a
nothing.
dope spot.
It was a dope
It
spot.
was a dope
though.
spot.
They
Definitely.
had like that little rooftop joint that you could go outside and just chill. You could shoot a video on there, some shit like that. That shit was dope.
Like the spot was
Yeah,
official.
the spot was official.
So he's telling me, he's talking to me, and I'm like, yo, you know, we've been open for a little over a year, actually a year and 2 months, right? Because it was November, December, January, so this is a year and 2 months that WEMS radio's been open.
Right.
So I'm like, yo, we've been pushing the YouTube and stuff like that to monetize off of what we doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you know, you need 1,000 subscribers, but you also need 40,000 viewer minutes. I'm like 40,000 viewer minutes? I'm like, we've been hitting 36, 37, 38,000 viewer minutes.
Right.
And we only started doing YouTube, a little over 6 months ago?
About that, yeah.
And he's like,
about that.
He's like, really? He's like, you ain't worried about it? I said, we do that every month. He's like, but you know, to monetize, you only got to do it 1 month out of the whole time that you got your YouTube channel open.
Right.
And I'm like, we do that shit every month. I'm like, the subscribers, we moving up.
Mm-hmm.
But our viewership minutes is ridiculous.
Bro, we been had that.
Like, we've been had that. So for the dude to sit there and say what he said, I'm like, yo, you don't even understand the opportunity. And then you get to share that link.
Right, and that's the thing. Be like with excuse me, with a show like this, the fact that you actually get to share your own link, dog, you could boost that interview. Like we got interviews where we got like 40, cause you know the comfort zone. Shout to the comfort zone. Lulu was good. She in the building in the corner, but our show gets decent views. You know what I'm saying? So we have shows that get decent views, and then we have shows that get great views. And we've had about, I think, like 2 or 3 shows that has some really really great views. You know what I'm saying? And then everything else is like good views. Like we get good viewership. So it's not about and none of our guests have ever been like, oh well, y'all ain't got that many followers, or I don't know, cause y'all can't really help me out. Nah, our guest was always good money. You know what I'm saying? And even any guest that's come on, WEMS is good money. You know what I'm saying? Either they walked out of here with connections, or they made connections. For however way they made them, but and if they didn't make any connections that time, they're always welcome back. And we've had repeat guests, which is dope.
Shout out to some of your repeat guests.
Yeah.
And I will shout them out because it's VIP. VIP's been here multiple times.
Yeah.
And it was, at one time, it was just one of the members of VIP.
Yep.
And then just recently we had both of them members.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that,
Mm-hmm.
I always say the humble never stumble,
Mm-hmm.
because that's real talk. Because when you pull up to a situation and you support your people and your people support you,
Yeah.
like there's nothing like it. So it's like, just to have them, to watch them in that transition of what's going on from the one member to the second member, to both of them being on here, to the way you guys converse with each other, and how the situation was just wonderful.
Word.
I just think that I think what's more important than anything is that the situation is organic, right? So it was like, y'all was just talking like, yo, bro, it was good. Yo, remember
Shout to
this?
VIP.
Yo,
Absolutely.
Yo,
But
remember
hold
that
on,
condom
no.
that broke?
But hold on. You thought that shit was you thought that was a show. Psst, nigga. My man. I'm gonna tell you like this. Shout out to According to Us. According to Us, been here 3 times.
3?
He was here 3 times.
3 times. Okay.
Right? Shout out to According to Us. But like, yo, bro, listen, we got shows lined up. My man. But yeah, shout to According to Us. Shout to all the return. Matter of fact, not for nothing, man. Shout to everybody who's came to the station, showed love to the station, continues to show love to the station, and continues to come through and support the station, even though y'all don't have to. You know what I'm saying? This is how you build a foundation
and an empire.
And an empire, right? Because everybody, everybody supports everybody, and that's the big thing, right? I feel that within our community, black and brown people, I feel that the more support that we have towards each other, the better we would do as a people. You understand what I'm saying? I feel that there's too many shots being thrown at us. I feel that we throw shots at each other to the point where they're damaging shots, because they're unnecessary shots too, but they're damaging because the thing is, if me and you were trying to do something together, we would probably make more noise together when we would alone, right? They always say an open hand, the open hand hurts, but a fist to knock you the fuck out.
Right. And then there was something that, because MLK Day was just on Monday, right? So MLK was like he said, when it comes to, like, I don't know the exact quote. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not even going to sit there and play myself and sit there and try and spit the exact quote, but I've heard it numerous times over the last couple of days. Mm-hmm. And it was, basically as a people separate. Basically, we're weak, right? But
Yeah.
when we come together, we're the wealthiest in the world
Divided we fall, together we stand.
because we bring so much to the table, from
Absolutely.
culture to education to knowledge
Absolutely.
to everything.
But
And
that's
but when you look at it, it's the world knows it too.
uh
The world knows it too because they try and continue to divide us, and we never sit there and like, yo, why is it that they always talking
But-
about this and they talking about that?
because that's what they do, B. Like they'll try to divide us and take us. It's a divide and conquer thing still to this day with black and brown people. You understand what I'm saying? Like to this day, you got Dominicans who don't like Dominicans, Boricuas who don't like Boricuas, whatever, black who don't like black. And this is the thing that's been going on for so long. It's literally, we are literally still in the crab in the barrel mentality. And that mentality has damaged us to the point where we literally are fighting each other to get out of that barrel. And there is no need to fight to get out of a barrel when, if you notice, when a damn
it's
lobster
the barrel
or
that
crab,
we built, like we
But not
built the
even
barrel that
that.
they threw us in.
but
Like,
not even that. Even if we got in the barrel, dogs, all you gotta have is that one crab who makes it out and then just holds on to the barrel rim, hangs over, and lets another crab get on his claw. And after that, y'all pull each other up. After we pull each other up, it's a long line, and we could all get money. This is the thing, right? It's enough money to go around. I've always said this. I've always been an advocate of that. There's enough money for everybody to eat. Everybody can eat. It doesn't matter if we're all on the same platform. If we all do, it doesn't matter. We all can eat. There is no reason why we all cannot eat. The reason why we can't eat is because certain people are greedy. And that greed, it turns ugly after a while, right? That greed, we've seen what that greed does, right? Prime example. And this is an example that, you know, I speak from because it's either I've experienced it, I've seen people experience it, or I've heard stories. More so, I've heard stories because I wasn't like really, you know, head first or head deep into the street game like that. But I dabbled. I did what I had to do to get this bread. But you know, you heard stories and you seen cats who was getting millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars a day, and it's their own people who'll bring them down, who'll buck them down, and who try to, you know, to stop them from eating. For what? Listen, if I got a city block, let's say I got 2 blocks, or let's say I'm holding South Bronx down, right? And you holding the east side of Harlem down, or the west side of Harlem down, or whatever the case may be. I'm like this, all right, man, listen. Damn, this nigga Profit making what? Profit making about 60,000 a day. I'm making about 80. Hey, yo, Prof, what's up, man? Let's work something out real quick. Let me do this. You take some of this, I take, and let's, you know what I'm saying? Let's work together. Let's do something. Let's try to make something happen to where I got the South Bronx and you got Harlem. We could connect the two and we could do Harlem and Bronx together. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and mind you, there was cats who did that. But then that money comes into play. And I always said money fucks everything up.
for real, it does.
Money will damage your whole shit. And not for nothing, right? Like if you look at that Paid in Full story, and then you look at the Paid in Full, but then you look at Game Over, which is the original Paid in Full. And I think I saw that one in like 01, 02 maybe, when I first seen Game Over. And I was like, yo, like this shit was so wild. And it was just like when I heard that interview with old boy, and he was like, I killed him over the price of the bricks and or whatever, he was lying or something. Like, I was just like, hold on, son. So you mean to tell me that this man was on a mission to find his little brother, his little man, and you bodied him because of some money over some bricks? Like,
But it's supposed to
Fam,
be.
but
It's
that's supposed to be your
family
man.
over everything.
Right. It's supposed to be family over everything, and you overlook that. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how I feel like a lot of dudes, they overlook certain they overlook certain aspects of the situation that they in, right? You can never overlook anything. I think you should analyze it, never overanalyze it, because then you doing too much. You understand what I'm saying? You should never overanalyze anything. I don't feel, at least. I feel that your first response from the heart and from your mind is your only response that you should do. Right? You remember in school, you know what I'm saying? You remember in school when teachers used to be like, you wrote that answer down, always go with that first answer, never erase.
Yeah.
Why? Because if your gut is telling you 2 + 7 is 9, 2 + 7 is 9, bro. Put that down. Don't erase it. You good. Don't start thinking, but what if you break this down and what if you break that down? My man, they ain't asked you to break nothing down. They asked you what's 2 and 7. 2 and 7 is 9. Simple mathematics.
Boom. Like,
You know what I'm saying?
It's real talk. And you know, today, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but you know, Paid in Full had the most monumental fucking quotes that you
Niggas
can
get
rap
shot every
with.
day, B.
Niggas get shot every day. Like, real talk.
You know what I'm
Like,
saying? What's popping, Kermie?
like, yo, for real. And then it was the situation where he was on 147 where Willie Burger where Willie Burger was, right? That's 145.
145. See?
145. Like, people out here fronting like it's not even about being part of the game. Like, you go front, and this was before the internet.
Yeah.
Like, the internet was really heavy.
Bro, man.
You could front. Like, you sit there, you just shedding cash and you doing all this, that, and the third. Yo, you could look the part, but you don't got to be the part. And the real block boys, everybody that was out there doing certain things, when it came to the movement,
Yeah.
it was real different.
Yeah.
And I think that we lost a lot of that when it came to hip hop, when it came to music, because you could fake it till you make it as the internet evolved.
But yeah, but I also feel that it wasn't so much as much as a fake it till you make it. It was almost like I said, I've heard stories of where, you know, hustlers, drug dealers was giving a lot of these artists money so they could start their own shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these hustlers, their lives were being written about by some of these hottest rappers out here back in the day, and they was spitting their life. And a lot of these hustlers, like if you look at cats like Supreme Team and who else? Son, I mean I'm an '80s baby. I was raised in the '90s, but if you look at cats like, you know, teams like that, and you know, look at Don Diva magazines or you know, whatever. You look at these magazines, but you see all these brothers, right? You see all these cats, and what are they all doing? They all partying. They all got on gold. They all got liquor around them. They all got money. They all got women. But notice the key thing I'm saying. They all have money. They all have women. They all have cars. They all of them. It was a family thing, B.
We ate together.
We ate together. So my thing is, the era that's out now, it's like it was so much competition between each other that, you know, it was beefs everywhere at a certain point where, you know, it just started getting messy, B. Like, shit started turning ugly, and it was one side against the other side. But you know who never really I saw, like, I didn't see really cats doing that was the South. Cats in Atlanta, cats in New Orleans, cats like, yo, dogs, do you realize that you know, it wasn't a big beef with no Southern like cats. Like, they
never was like that. It was
they always rode for each other. Yeah, like,
it's different.
Son, you see, Currency was on every New Orleans label. He was on Young Money. He was on Cash Money. He was on No Limit. He did his own thing now. So he got a relationship with 3 of the biggest labels in the South, and all 3 of them respect him. He's well respected.
And that's crazy.
They all ate together.
And even with Luda, like when
Luda
was popular, like Luda's still popular. I don't give a fuck what Luda.
He was letting everybody eat.
It don't even matter what Luda do. Like Luda was he was one of those that was he reminds me of Missy Elliott, right? So you know how Missy Elliott she did what she did,
right?
And she didn't care how you thought about it, felt about it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She put her shit out there. She had a lot of situations going on where she did certain things. Like Luda was like, yo, I'm gonna stay true to me, but I'm always gonna represent the South.
Supposed to.
And the South respected him for always representing the South.
Yeah.
Like even when he, I still remember the video when he had the midget hanging from his chain.
Oh yeah.
That shit was like, what the fuck?
But then you think about it, right? You had cats before Luda, like you got Goody Mob.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got Outkast.
Oh, definitely.
You had Ghetto Boys. You had Scarface.
Yeah.
You had E40. You had Too Short. I mean, there was so many artists from the West Coast. Then you had you had the South, and the South was like Pastor Troy, Trick Daddy, C Murder, all the whole TRU camp, the whole No Limit, the whole who else? Slip and Slide Records with Trina, Trick, Rick Ross was on them. You understand what I'm saying? So they was getting it popping. The only place that I feel that niggas be having real legitimate beef is New York.
But
it makes no sense.
I don't even think it's legit. It's just because
it's not legit beef. It's stupid.
It's New York beef because we tend to, no lie, we tend to not support each other.
For what reason though?
It don't make no sense.
You understand what I'm saying?
It don't make no sense. And then we sitting there, we trying to drag each other down. Like if we led by example, I understand the whole point of people saying, yo, hip hop started in the Bronx.
Yeah, but that shit don't mean nothing. Be like, all right, it started in the Bronx. Because it started in the Bronx,
doesn't mean it needs to stay there.
No, not even that. Does that mean that we disrespect every other place that does rap too or hip hop? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, you got some cats in the South that's bar for bar. Scarface is one of the dopest MCs in the South that I've ever heard, bro.
But you think about
Scarface is a beast.
All right, so like if we look at the situation, and this is real talk, and this is me and you talking right now, right? If we have the birth of hip hop being in the Bronx, right?
Okay.
And everything came after that.
Right.
So that could be your son,
right,
your daughter, right?
Right.
So show love. You
support those your kids.
You support right, real talk. Those are your kids. So why would you sit there and count out every other area that really
ignorance, bro.
Ignorance. They pay homage to because they did. Because
everybody's paid homage though.
They pay homage to hip hop starting in the Bronx.
Right.
We got the hip hop museum in the Bronx.
I get it. Yeah.
We got all that. But you know what? The motherfuckers from the Bronx need to sit there and respect what everybody else is doing because they love it, because they love what we created.
Right, but it ain't from you can't really single out the Bronx, but you gotta say
hip hop New York.
Right, I'm gonna single out New York and New York artists, right? Because I think now the thing is that well, from what I've been seeing is a lot of New York artists are jumping on tracks with Southern dudes and vice versa, right? But not even that. Why can't a New York artist jump on a New York artist track? Where's that camaraderie at? You know what I'm saying? Like I remember back in the day where, everybody wanted to be on the Dipset track or everybody wanted to be on the Fab track.
The hottest beats.
Yeah, but I mean,
Dipset has
let's be honest. They had a old boy, Heatmakers, Arsonist. Arsonist is a dope producer. Shout to Arsonist, Bronx cat. But my thing is back in the day, you had
When I was young, I'm not a kid anymore.
yeah, but you had Jay. Method Man was the only feature on Big's Ready to Die. Niggas don't. I don't even think a lot of people realize that. Big had one feature on that album, one, and it was Method Man
from Staten Island, but he was originally from Long Island. If you ever rocked out to the saga of Wu-Tang,
the Wu-Tang.
right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the camaraderie back then. You know what I'm saying? Cause you had Jersey cats, New York cats, Philly cats, making records with each other. We was bigging it up. For some reason, I don't know how this switch happened, but now all of a sudden, New York cats wasn't rocking with New York cats anymore. Or it was like
weird. It's bad,
I mess with them, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? And then like the King of New York shit started. So everybody want to be King of New York, and everybody want to have bars and.
But that's where DJ Self really you know, it's funny because nobody ever really pays attention to the dialogue that people put out there. Like DJ Self never said he was the king of New York. He's the prince of New York.
Yeah,
right?
I mean
he's the
named,
prince.
But he named himself that. But
but there's a reason why. But I know what the reason why is because New York is crucial. So yo, when you put out that king title, yo, right. I'm the best.
Right.
Yo, I'm trying to cut you. Yo, it's not.
It should be like that. It should be friendly competition.
It should be.
And at some point, it was friendly competition.
But it's not no
more. Until that. And what I'm saying is that King of New York. Once you see, because this is the issue that a lot of people I know older cats will remember it because this is the thing, right? When Big and Pac died, that was 96, right? 95, 96 or 96, 97. So it was 96, 97, right? I was 13.
I was still a baby. I was in high school at the time that Big died. My baby girl was born. My firstborn was born when Big died. And
96.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Big died 9-7.
9-7, but
Pac died 9-6.
But she died.
She was born.
Big died
March 9th.
The same day my daughter was born.
That's crazy.
I swear to you, on everything in my life, like my daughter was born on March 9th, 2007. Big died 2007. Like
Big died 97, bro.
Oh, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
97, bro.
There was a 7 in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right?
But what I'm saying is that kind of drove I think that beef between Pac and Big, it wasn't even the East Coast West Coast beef the way the media beefed it up crazy. It was a label beef. It was a beef between Bad Boy and Death Row that just got a little crazy, and unfortunately we lost two pivotal MCs because due to senseless violence and bullshit, right? So now you see, and it's just like everybody was calling Big the King of New York. So now when the king gets dethroned, when the king dies, his successor comes up.
Right.
But the problem is, who the fuck was the successor?
There was nobody.
There was none. But you had Jay. But you had Jay. You had Nas, right? You had certain artists. You still had X out here. You still had certain artists who was ready to handle business, to handle their BI. But you know, the for me the issue was that it was way too much pent up aggression and hostility at some point. And I just think that New York really we kind of messed up our own hip hop, maybe a little bit. We started pinning artists against each other. I don't know, man. I just feel like we could have did better with our artists, man. I still feel like New York, we in it. We got some dope artists out here. But I personally would like to see more artists collaborate with each other from New York more. And kind of just bring back that old New York sound, man. I love that New York sound. Shout out to my boy Tox, man. My man Tox got an amazing album. Shooting for the Stars 3. If you ain't get that, go get that. I'ma plug my man in, cause this shit fire. Um, so my man Dub work, he always got that work on deck. All his shit is on iTunes. Pick that up. So it's dope artists that's out here that's underground, but they also could be making moves in the mainstream. Hopefully, they get that pickup ready. But I just feel like man, New York. I won't say that NY dropped the ball, because they didn't. We've always still been in the background of it. But the West Coast came up. West Coast came up and did they shit. NWA went off. Then you had Snoop. No, you had NWA. Then you had Dre's Chronic, which was crazy. Then you had Snoop joint, who Snoop just came through and OD'd, right? And then, but that was a time where music was in competition with music, because on the East Coast we was wilding with Capone and Nori. We had the Locks. We had X first album. We had that whole Rough Rider crew. Eve, X, Swizzy, the whole Locks Cam Drag On. It was just something special. And I feel that we'll never get that nostalgical feel back. Like, you won't, like, you'll get it eventually with, not eventually, but you'll get it with certain cats, because certain artists, they grew up on that, or they still listen to that for some type of inspiration. And I just feel like, when we come together within this hip hop community, and we stop fighting against each other and show each other more love and camaraderie, then I feel like the scene to be better. I also feel that at a certain point we gotta start making our own labels more prevalent. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop. I'm not saying don't sign to Sony or Universal or RCA. If they, no, RCA is no longer with us. So it's Sony, Universal, Def Jam. I'm not saying no, hit a label up, because if a label hits you and they see something in you, that's cool. Take that deal. But what I will say is, and I always say this, I say this time and time again, and I mean this wholeheartedly: learn the business. Learn exactly what it is you need to know. Learn how to not get stuck in a 360 deal. Learn how to possibly just work up a P&D deal, a press and distribute deal, where all you gotta do is make your own music, mix, master your own joint, give it to the company, like, yo, press these and distribute them out. That's all I need you to do. You understand what I'm saying? At least learn something. At least know how to maneuver in case the label decides they want to be asses and drop you, and because you ain't doing what they would like you to do, but your numbers is right where your numbers need to be. Cause dig this, right? You look at a cat like Nip, or like Currency, or some of these underground artists where they had major labels, they got dropped, or they left the situation because it wasn't moving the way they wanted it to move, and these labels was moving a little funny or slow, and they showed you the blueprint of how to maneuver within these industry walls and within these industry streets, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? I feel that one of the first labels that was for me, and for me at least, looking from the outside in, I seen the makings of Rockefeller, right? Rockefeller was official.
Definitely.
But if you think about it, Rockefeller took a page out of Uptown Records, right?
Definitely. And
Uptown
records took a page
gave
out of who?
Uptown gave their page to Bad Boy, right? So Puff took his shit from Bad Boy. I mean, Puff took his scheme from Uptown, right? Then you see, Bad Boy coming up. Bad Boy got Craig Mack. Bad Boy got Biggie. Bad Boy had Jodeci, Mary, all these other dope ass acts, right?
Bad Boy had a lot of dope shit going on.
Right.
And there was a lot of stuff going on prior to that
Right.
Bad Boy situation.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and unfortunately, like as a people, we always get caught up in the labels. Like no lie, you know, if we sit there and we look at the black and brown culture,
Mhm.
we was always taught to follow the labels. So may it be Gucci, may it be this, may it be that. And when it comes to music
Some
too,
people were. Some people
some
were.
people,
I could say. I could
not
honestly say.
everybody,
I can
not
honestly say my
everybody,
mom used to be like, "Yo, walk to the beat of your own drum."
right? And it's different the way, like something like that. You could either receive what your people's just saying, like your mom's
Right.
is telling you, or you gonna sit there and go with the masses. But when you go with the masses, it not for nothing. When you go with the masses, it's a sign of weakness because once you're able to go against the grind.
Uh huh.
When you go against the grind, no lie, I swear to you, on my mom's and my pops,
Right.
like you sit there and you follow the grind of everybody else.
Right.
But once you do, I was I was always inspired to do shit outside the box. I haven't been able to live inside the box in a long time. Like I have a 9 to 5. I've done work for major companies. I could run a list down, and I've always had controversy attempting to live inside that box. I
Mhm.
can't live inside that box. Like me, I'm always outside the box. So I do shit my way.
Right.
And where it comes to those record labels, like Loud Records, like Loud Records,
That was amazing.
Loud did something that nobody else wanted to do.
They signed 9 individual artists.
Right? It was crazy. Like it was one of those situations. Like what the
Who
fuck are
does
you
that?
doing? And it's like, what are you doing? And it's like, no, I'm doing this.
And the ill shit about it was, if you think about it, right? They signed a group of 9 individual members who at the time had no individual deals. And the
None.
dope part about that deal that they signed was that all of them can get their own contract. They could all have their own contractual obligations as well as have a contractual obligation with the group,
Right.
which was fire and unheard of.
Yo, but you think about that. It's like, yo, when y'all rock together, let's do this. But if
Mhm.
you want to do something outside of this, and when you look at, and I know without even saying names, like me and you know exactly what we're talking about.
Mhm.
There's probably people that are listening that don't know,
Mhm.
but it's that type of situation. It's like, yo, let's rock this way,
Right.
but I'm not gonna tie you down to nothing. Yo,
Right.
if you want to grow outside of what we got going together, yo, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I believe in what y'all got going together. And when Loud Records came about, and when Loud Records really started popping,
Mhm.
and when Loud Record was that independent kind of situation outside of the majors, because we all know the majors was different. They was cutting the same type of deal all the
Right.
time. Loud Records was like, yo, I want to do something different. I don't want what everybody else is doing. I'm gonna do something outside of the box.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
And they signed Wu Tang.
They should have.
They-
And and also that show got a season 2 on Hulu. So
The season 2 came out.
nah, season
And it
2 is
come-
coming out.
It's coming out. But
So
I
you
know
know
it
that
ain't
shit
out
gonna be
yet.
crazy. Nah, that's gonna be crazy.
And if we talk about the season 1, there's some things.
First
that
of all, if you didn't catch season 1, you a sucker.
yo, you a
Season
clown.
1, you need to catch season
You
1.
are a clown. Like you
Season
are a
1.
clown. I'm sorry.
If you're not a hip hop head, then
Yo,
it don't matter.
If you're not a hip hop head, you're a clown. And on Netflix, they had the whole joint
Of Mice and Men, I seen that joint,
Uh,
but this is the thing, you know, it's 2020. A lot of advances have definitely been made within this music industry.
It's changed.
And the music industry has rapidly changed. Like
It's
I mean,
ridiculous.
I remember
It's ridiculous.
store signings, album signings, where You know, you had the artists at these stores, Virgin on 14th Street.
Oh my gosh.
Tower Records on 66 and Broadway.
86th Street.
Nah, it was one on 66 and
No,
Broadway.
but I'm saying 86th Street.
Oh
too.
yeah, 86 was 86 was
the
86
fuck
in
was
Lexington was
H&M? No. Oh, fuck, VIM.
No.
What the fuck? Those are all clothing stores. My bad. I'm all fucked up. Shit.
Was it
What
H&M? No, it wasn't. It was
No. What was it? But it was all music. It was all music, like 3 floors.
It was a music store on 86
No, 86.
Yo, whoever knows the music store on 86 in Lexington.
86 and Lex, and it was 3 floors of nothing but cassette tapes. And
Yeah, I know you're talking about. But even downtown Brooklyn had fat beats. Right? Downtown Brooklyn had fat beats or whatever. So my thing is, you know, this is what the labels are not doing anymore.
It's
and
different.
it's different now because now you could catch, like, now a lot of these artists be Instagram, Facebook. You get on IG right now. An artist is on live on his IG. You could ask him to be in the video. You could talk to your favorite artist through
It's
IG on
direct,
video
like
directly
it's real
now.
direct,
Like
yeah.
so now it's
not-
more
you don't got
it's
your-
more
your
personal
A&Rs.
now. Nah,
You
it's
don't
more
got A&Rs.
because the
You don't
artists
got-
are the A&Rs.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
But
The artists.
problem is, I think with that, like I think, and this is just my personal opinion, and this is nobody gotta agree with me. You don't even gotta agree with me,
Right.
right? I don't care if anybody agrees with me, but I think where it comes, like there's a point where there's a certain area where there should be certain artist development. There's no A&Rs no more.
Yeah.
There's no artist development. There's no this, there's no that. That's why, like, that particular conversation that I had with an artist early in the week happened. Because if it was an A&R involved,
They would have told him.
A&R was like, yo, nah, you don't do that, bro. Like, you got an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yo, you gonna pop up.
An A&R's telling him, my brother, listen here. I don't care how big or small his radio station is, you're going. Because the more, this is the thing, the more, and I'm on all the artists to listen, you know, the more exposure you can get, whether it's a room of, listen, whether it's a room of 5 people, 500, 5,000, 50,000, don't matter. You perform the same way you would perform for a packed house, right? You've had, and this is like comedians, artists, whatever. There's comedians that'll tell you, man, I performed in a room full of 5 people, and I had them 5 people laughing like it was no tomorrow. I gave them a performance that I would give anybody looking at me a performance. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying with these artists. Yo, you could come on any radio station, no matter how big or small a platform is. You come on this platform and you show your ass. You come on, you do what you gotta do, and if we ask you to spit a freestyle, then my man, spit that free. And if you can't spit it free, then spit it written like it's a freestyle. I don't care. As long as you come in here and do what you gotta do. Radio shows are here. This is the thing, right? The fact that he told you that you need him after he reached out to you, that's the problem I have. My man, we don't need you. You don't need us. If you feel that you big enough and that you popping enough to get your own spins and to get your own, get your own shit the right way, then that's fine, brother.
I'm gonna hit you with the copy.
Not even that, my brother.
Yo, copy, we good.
God bless. Good luck. We still here. If you ever need to come through, we here, because at the end of the day, you gotta show support. The reason why there's no support is because of attitudes like that. And people, like I said, people get turned off by that. That's fine. That's fine. That's human nature to be turned off by ugliness and to be turned off by stupidity and ignorance, right? But there's always room for improvement. That person might
always is.
That person might realize, damn, that was a stupid move. I'm gonna be embarrassed, but I'm not gonna ask him right away. Let me ask him like a couple weeks or a couple months later on down the line, and that's cool. You can come back. It ain't no malice. It ain't no hard feelings.
For me, there's never no hard feelings. Like, yo, that's why when I reached out, when I responded to, I'm like, yo, let me know when you change your mind,
Yeah,
because I already know that the way the industry works is that if you sit there and your chest is too poked out,
yeah, they gonna
yo,
deflate it.
yo, and
They gonna
trust and
deflate it for
believe,
you.
I can sit there and deflate your joint. Like I can sit there and
Yeah.
I could try and play you. I could put your name out. I could do
Mhm.
all that, and I
Mhm.
could, but I'm not going to do that because
No need.
for me, there's no need for that.
It's never.
But I just need you to understand, like, yo, we could really work together as people and
Yeah.
what we do and what we built as because we have talent.
Yeah, man.
And like I said, yo, MLK Day, they was like, yo, as a people, as a collective, we are worth more than any of these other
Dogs. We.
collaborants. And yo, we are resilient people. No lie, no lie. We've been, if you look through history, as black and brown people, we have been put through the fucking mills 120
Yeah, man.
times over, and no lie,
It's just.
we still rise to the top. We still rise to the top. We don't get the acknowledgement that we should, and people don't respect us for what we are. And the media puts us in this presence of the media. The media takes black and brown people and they put us in this presence of fear.
Yeah.
But it's like, yo, have you ever, before you listen to the news, have you ever talked to a black and brown person?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
But
Like, probably not. Like,
my
it's real talk.
yeah, but my thing is also like we do it to ourselves, b. We do that shit to ourselves, man. Like at the end of the day, it's just like you can't pick me up to put me back down. Like you can't say, yo, I like what you're doing, or yo, you doing your thing, keep going. And then in the next round, you're back, yo, but how long you think how long you think you're gonna be able to pull that off, or yo, you don't think it's about time to give up, or you don't think to do something. Listen, man.
Nah,
Only
bro.
thing, this is the only thing I'll say, man, and I mean this wholeheartedly. I don't never want to disrespect nobody or take nobody dream away from them. It's never my intentions. And I don't put an age limit on music, because rock and roll, there's no age limit on rock and roll. There's no age limit on R&B. There's no age limit on pop or none of that shit.
But why
There's
is it
always,
on hip hop?
because hip hop, and I asked myself that question a long time ago, and I didn't understand why, but I understand now. And it's not that they're putting an age limit on music, on hip hop. It's an age limit on performers, right? Now the problem is this. Let's say Jay goes on tour. It's only you know what I'm saying, like I guess people at a certain age, you can't talk about certain shit no more. But the thing is, and then that's why I get it, but then I don't get it, because you can't knock him for spitting about being a hustler when that's what his life was. You can't knock him for that. So for people to be like, oh, you can't be a 50-year-old rapper, why not? Now, if you're saying that you're just gonna start rapping at 50, then that's a problem. But if you've been in the industry, I mean, if you think about it, Jay came in the industry, he was 26 years old. He was already older. But Jay really didn't start getting popping until, I want to say 30, in his mid-30s.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? His
Definitely,
first
yeah.
album didn't rock like that. The second album, Life and Times of Sean Carter Volume 1, although a classic, didn't do well. Volume 2 is the one that popped them off.
And like when it comes to Jay-Z, like I want people to really understand the whole movement and all that behind Jay-Z.
Right.
Like Jay-Z started at a place, like Jay-Z came from the bottom.
Yeah.
Like Jay-Z used to be on the J and the Z train. Like nobody ever understands how Jay-Z's name came about. Like he used to hustle on the J and the Z train, while they was coming through Brooklyn, right? Marcy Projects and all that, and he was doing what he was doing, but at the same time he was still spitting and he was still putting together what he was doing.
Yeah.
So as a man, and you know,
I definitely want to
me,
pick his book up, by the way, too.
me personally, when it comes to Jay Z, like like there's there's a there's an era that we grew up in, and there's an era that there's a lot of people that don't understand a man that wants to develop growth. So Jay Z was that hood dude that did what he did, and as he transitioned, nobody really wants to pay attention. I think the 444 album, like I tell you, like when I heard the 444 album, like it really that sparked a certain light under my ass or some shit because you saw the transition of Jay Z. Jay Z was always influential
Right.
in the stuff that he always said.
Right.
But when he started talking that, yo, I'm putting something out there that's worth $1 million for 9.99,
Mm-hmm.
like nobody ever really got that because I'm telling you how to transition to a different point, a different aspect of your life.
Right.
So it's like, yo, why is it, yo, you not getting it?
It ain't that they not getting it. I just think people.
I don't think they want to hear it though.
That and my thing is also like if you're if you a Jay fan, like a real Jay fan, then you would know that Jay's been spitting like that since Reasonable Doubt. And the thing is, Jay's always been personal with his shit. It was just that 444 got more personal because he was grown. His
Grown, real
shit,
grown.
his business. No, if you notice, Jay's always been a private dude. Like you've never really
Right.
heard
Nah,
anything
no.
about his shit. So
Nah.
now and this is the thing, Jay's not from an internet era. Neither are none of those rappers. None of them are from an internet era. So what they used to do in private or what they went through in private was just that. It was private.
Yeah.
Now you have a situation where he's caught in the elevator with Beyonce and Solange, and she's kicking the shit out of him. She's trying to beat on him, and Beyonce's just standing there, right? So now you got people talking about that. Then you got people talking about Becky with the good hair. Then you know what I'm saying? So it's so many things that people were speaking of that I feel that it took him. And I'm not one to speak for him. I'm not defending him or anything because I don't know if there's anything to defend or not. But what I'm saying is, you know, I guess the way he was thinking about it was, I've never been in nothing like this before. I wouldn't even know how to damage control this shit. So
Real
now
talk.
this is when you get a team around you that can do the damage control because you don't know how to deal with shit like that, right? And the fact that, you know, he's been like I've been a Jay fan since. I was listening to Jay when he was on Original Flavors with he did a song with Ski Beats and the group was called Original Flavors and they featured him and that's when he was rhyming that real fast like he was rhyming that real staccato fast flow shit. So he's transitioned from music as well. Like he's been one of those Fool Snickens fast tongued rappers. Then he slowed it down.
Foosh niggas.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Foosh niggas was
not
real
a lot
with
of
it.
people know about that.
I mean, listen, if you a hip hop head, then you would know about Foosh
That's
niggas,
real
right?
talk, though.
So-
That's real talk.
So now you get to the point where he's grown. His message has changed and he feels different about certain things, right? And that's a good thing. So, you know, now you see his transition from Jay the hustler to Jay the rapper to Jay the businessman to Sean the mogul, because he's no longer Jay, it's Sean now. You understand what I'm saying? So
it's different.
so it's different. You know, you in a different tax bracket, but he's still the same kid from 540 State Street. He's still the same dude
It's
from Marcy,
crazy because
right?
you never lose that.
No, you can't
never-
lose that
you
though.
can't.
This is the thing. This is why I stay loyal to. And it may sound crazy, but I stay loyal to my era. I stay loyal to my 90s to early 2000s rap because that rap, whatever they want to call this shit now, whether they want to say it's real rap or not, I don't get it, but it is what it is. I'm not supposed to get it, right? This is for the younger generation, and I get that. But my generation, not for, and this is for every generation before me who's felt that their generation was better, right? My generation just came out with a style of music that we felt was right for us. You feel me?
It
impacted us in a different way. So from Jay's first album, he's been personable. You know, and to this day, my favorite song to this day is the original Dead Presidents, not the one that he put on the album, the remix joint, but the joint with that when he spit that whoever spit that one the rhyme and shit, me and my conglomerate shit, I remain anonymous, caught up in the finest shit, live out my dreams until my heart, like all that shit was real. Like, you know, when he was like, it's heaven and it's hell, niggas. Next day, you know, when he spit that shit, he was real shit. He was speaking the real things that was going on. You know, you next day you forget in your lives, your alibis ain't matching up, bullshit catching up. They repoed your vehicle. Everything was all good just a week ago. About to start bitching, ain't you? Ready to start snitching, ain't you? I forgive your weak ass hustling, just ain't true. Aside from the fast cars, honeys that shake their head. So you spitting shit that's relatable, right? And that's your first album.
But that's the shit that, like, real talk, it happens in the industry. So be able to be able to put it out there the way he put it out there
was magical.
It is so, it's like, oh my gosh. But I will tell you that everybody can relate to that. Like, everybody can, like, you really gotta have an open ear.
But if you from where we from, it's an easily relatable subject.
But if you real, but
even if you're not real and you wasn't in the streets, you like, still knew of motherfuckers who was doing that shit, who was in the streets. Period.
Right. You 100% right. Like, I ain't even going to sit there and be like, nah, no, that really ain't it. Like, the people that was doing it and the people that watch people doing it.
Yeah.
Because we all know.
Yeah.
You got the doers and you got the people that dream about doing what you're doing.
You got the dreamers and the doers. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. You have we were brought up in the era where all we saw was fucking doers. Let's be honest, bro. All we saw, everybody that you knew or every grown OG that you knew on your block was a hustler, was the ex-hustler who had a story to let you know, yo, this is how you do it, young, and this is how you don't do it, young, and whatever the case. Or you had these artists, these rappers, these MCs who were ghetto storytellers, B. They were telling you the life that they grew up in, but also the life that they saw. And that was the life that we grew up in. Like, Nas is one of my favorite MCs, hands down, bar none. Nas, to me, is the greatest. You understand what I'm saying? And for his storytelling abilities, it was quick. They call me Nas. I'm not your legal type of fella. Moet drinking marijuana, smoking street dweller, who's always on the corner, rolling up cess. When I dress, is never nothing less than guess. Kobe walking with a bop in my hat turned back. Love committing sins and my friends sell crack. Nigga rap with a razor, keep it under my tongue. The school drop out, never like the shit from day one. Cause life ain't shit but stress, fake willies and grab guts. So I guzzle my Hennessy while pulling on mad blunts. The brutalizer, accelerator. The type of nigga who be pissing in your elevator. Somehow the rap game remind me of the crap game. You understand what I'm saying? So when they say shit like that, you just be like, oh, somehow the rap game reminds me of the crack game. Used to sport Bally's and Gazelles with black frames. That right there was a hustler's lifestyle. You understand what I'm saying? That was shit that hustlers was doing.
And that's real talk because, like, me growing up, like, I'm a 70s baby.
Right.
So, like, when I grew up and what I was doing, there were certain things that you had to deal with as a 70s baby growing up. Because me being born in the 70s,
right,
I grew up in the 80s and the 90s.
Right.
So
you had the front row seat with the crack epidemic.
For real. Like, so there was a lot of things that I had to encounter, and it was like I had to accept, I had to move with, I had to just sit back and take a back seat to.
Absolutely. It was nothing else you could do.
No, so it was, yo, what am I going to do?
Right.
Like I grew up, I'm from Harlem, and like you from Harlem too.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like yo, either you was a hustler or you was watching a hustler. Like, but it's crazy because that's the way Harlem really was put
Yeah.
together. It was either you was a hustler
Or you played
or,
ball.
or you played ball, but you also watched the hustler. So you know, I grew up. I went to school with a lot of the people that people look up to nowadays when it comes to the industry.
Right.
Like I went to high school with them.
Right.
So it was one of those things like when shit. I don't know if it was a movie that actually got shot at my high school, but I think it was Sunset Park.
Nah,
Sunset
you talking
Park.
about
What
He
was
Got
the name of
Game
that movie? We Got Game?
with Ray Allen, or was it Ray Allen, or was it?
No, it was with the dude from Onyx.
That's Sunset Park.
Sunset Park.
Yeah, but that was filmed in Oh shit,
No,
they did
no.
film
It's shot in Manhattan Center. Like I was there when
the inside, the indoor
the
scenes.
indoor joint
Yeah.
was at my school.
And then they filmed matter of fact, you know what else they filmed that center too? Above the Rim.
Above the rim was there too.
Above the Rim.
But that was like I was there for that. Like
Mhm.
those things I was there for. So I grew up in that era.
Yeah.
So it was like, yo, either you a hustler or you not. Like I didn't know what it was not to be a hustler.
Yeah, because
my pops, I tell you no lie. I could walk the streets and,
Right.
and motherfuckers wouldn't even touch me because it's like, yo.
they knew who your pops was.
It was like, yo, that's Pistol Pete, son.
Respect.
So
It was just the
Prophet.
respect.
So, like, my whole name, Prophet Pete, like, legit on my government. Like, Pete is my middle name. Like,
Mhm.
that's not even no bullshit. But that's paying homage to my pops.
Right.
Because my pops paved the way for me to be able to do what I do today.
Right.
Like, everybody already know, yo, that's Pistol Pete, son. Like, nah, I'm not Pistol Pete, I'm Prophet Pete. Like, there's a difference.
Right.
He was Pistol Pete, I'm Prophet Pete. I'm about my bread, nigga was about his guns and all that. But that was my pop.
I mean, that's the old school way to do it, but
So it was different.
it's,
Like,
you learn different
even,
shit.
Even the young cats on the block was like, yo, I was with your pops yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't even fuck with that nigga because that nigga crazy.
You just learn different
It's
though
different.
too.
It's different. Like there was a lot of my homies that got buried early at a young age. They didn't even hit 24. They didn't even hit 23. It was a lot of stuff because of the way shit went down on the block back
Absolutely, and then you also realize, like, you know, a lot of these young cats that we grew up with, we grew up where we was looking up to dudes on the block, and some of them dudes on the block was sending niggas on dummy missions.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? You get sent on a dummy mission, and then all of a sudden dudes is like, all right, cool, he good money, and now you get caught up or you get stuck, and where your man at? He's not nowhere. He ain't nowhere to be found, or you know. So we kind of grew up, legitimately. We kind of grew up learning not to trust each other as well. You know what I'm saying? So, this is, I feel like if you really think about it too, that's why a lot of black and brown people are the way we are, because of the fact that we grew up in the era where, you know, you were taught not to trust because trust was a sign of weakness. And that
Yo, that's real though.
But that's an issue.
But the way you said it is totally true. It's totally true. It is an issue.
It's a big issue.
It's a big issue because, you know, from being Puerto Rican to you being Dominican, there's a lot of stuff that we dealt with in our communities and in our lifestyles that it was, we can't even trust each other. But my man, when I tell you I spoke to my man earlier before the show started,
Right.
he's like, we sit there and we look for investments and we look for this and we look for that, and the people that already got money, and when they invest, like this is, when I tell you, before the show started, it was like maybe 15 minutes before Y'all even walked in the door
Mhm.
before I got on the phone with him. He's like, yo, we sit there and we look for people with money to invest in what we got going on.
Right.
And then they invest in us. And then when we start popping, we owe them everything.
And that's the issue.
Why are we paying people that already got money we looking for investments for people that already got money to make money, and then when we make money, we gotta give it right
back. But here's the issue, right? It comes in where we don't trust each other, right? And the fact that
I think we need to trust each other more.
Yeah, but that's easier said than done.
It is.
You got to remember the damage that has been given to us, and yeah, it's from ourselves. I'm not going to sit there and say we haven't done it to ourselves, but outside entities as well, right? So now you got, put it to you like this: me and you from the same hood, right? Boom. We each.
Like
we
literally avenues apart. It's not even blocks apart.
Right, but nah,
like
let's.
It was just like.
Yeah, but let's just say we grew up in the same hood, same building, all that. You was my man. We both ran the streets. We both did what we did. Now, mind you, I went a different route, right? After I figured out, yo, the streets avenue, this shit ain't for me. Let me double back. Sometimes you gotta double back to move forward. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta really step back and be like, yo, this shit ain't working. I don't know what's going on, but this ain't working for me. I'm not doing this no more. You switch up, right? Now, you see me doing well, but you mad because you see me popping off. So now I'm a sucker. Now I done changed. Now I'm not for this block. I'm not for the streets. I'm not for the fam. My man, I can't very well be in my mid 30s, late 40s, still standing on the block or still standing on the corner smoking a joint or smoking a blunt.
You can't hold it down the same.
It's no way I'm holding it down.
No
like,
way.
it don't make. And then on top of that, I still gotta watch my back. And I known y'all for how long? And I still gotta, yo, Shine, you know that nigga's talking reckless about you. Alright, dude. Like, I'm not with all that. You understand what I'm saying? At a certain point, it's grow up. You gotta grow up. Get out mommy crib. Stop buying the. Listen, I done seen so many fly cars in the projects, bro. I done seen, yo, what was it? I think it was 2.5 weeks ago. I seen somebody pull up. I forgot what projects I was at, but I seen somebody pull up in the new 8 Series. My man, that's like what, an $80,000-$90,000 whip. You in the projects, bruh.
It's different.
What are you doing?
And the thing is that.
Come on, baby. That shit don't make no sense,
yo,
bro.
No lie. Like, I would tell you I got educated enough. Like, I can't tell you I know everything.
Yeah, because we don't stop learning. We still learning now.
So, like, I'm still in school. I'm still learning. I'm still on my IT shit. Like,
Right.
I realized that the movement or the way the world is going is totally different from what we was taught, where we was from.
Yeah, man.
So, I'm on a totally different level when it comes to certain things. And when I say things, I only speak because of my education and the way the world is going.
And certain information.
So, it's like, I would tell you as early as 2009, which was, that's a pretty good distance ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
The projects was a stepping stone, right? The projects was a stepping stone.
Right.
The largest amount of projects in the United States started in New York.
Right.
Projects started in
Biggest
New York.
biggest projects in New York is which one?
LES.
No.
No. When you look at where they start, because that's where
The
it started.
biggest projects in New York. Think about it.
The biggest project.
Queensbridge.
Well, because that's that
Bruh.
whole unit right under the bridge.
But that's the biggest project.
But when you look at Queensbridge, right? It's the biggest project. But when you look at so when I look at the whole situation and everything when it comes to What's up, Mom?
Yeah,
Right?
we're not live, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we live.
So when it comes to the projects and all that stuff, like Queensbridge and all that, there's a certain level to the projects.
Right.
So Queensbridge goes probably 10 maybe 15 floors, right?
I think maybe 15.
Maybe 15, right?
Probably about that.
So you got a certain amount of buildings
Right.
in Queens, but because there's Ravenswood and all that, it's way shorter than Queensbridge.
Yeah, Ravenswood is a little bit off though.
It's off to the side,
Yeah.
but they don't go as high as Queensbridge,
Right.
right? But then you got the projects in Manhattan that reach 25 floors.
22 floors at most, right?
22 floors, right?
But right, go ahead.
So you got, like, when you sit there and you look at the situation, when you look at the volume of people, right? We're not looking at the area that they take over,
Right.
right? We're looking at the amount of people on every floor and the amount of apartments on every floor.
Right.
Manhattan holds it down, a hard body, but nobody ever really takes that into account.
Right.
Like, you from Harlem, so like when I learned what I learned back in '09,
Mm-hmm.
it was, yo, Manhattan got projects going from First Avenue all the way to the West Side. Yo, no lie, on 112th to 115th, and that shit go all the way to the West Side.
Mm-hmm.
And we got 20 floors. We got X amount of families on every floor. Like, there's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's just from 112 to 115.
Right.
But we're not talking about LES. We're not talking about all the sporadic projects that they popped up.
Right.
But they started here.
Yeah.
They started in Harlem. They started in Manhattan. They started in this area where it was supposed to be a stepping stone. But at the same time, it was I always pay attention to that word, the project.
Right.
Because it was just when everybody always looks into that situation where we talk about the purge, right? It's the purge and, yo, the people that are leeches on society and this, that, and third. The project was literally a
project.
right? So it was like, yo, if we put X amount of people on one block radius and we sit there and we limit resources, let's see how they survive. And you know what happened? Because as black and brown people, we always gonna figure out how to survive. Because we always grew up on limited resources.
Right.
We always had to figure out how we was gonna eat. Yo, if it was taking a banana off the tree or whatever it was, we was gonna figure it out. But at the same time, when they sat there and they put this project together, they made sure that there was a liquor store on every fucking corner of the project. Because we gonna limit your resources, but we gonna give you a way to release. But then we gonna allow crack to come into your community. But at the same time, we allowing crack to come into your community. Everybody that's selling crack, you gonna get 25 to life. But that was the Rockefeller law that we dropped on the whole situation.
Right.
It changed the dynamic of the way we had to survive. Where when they put out New Jack City, that movie, when they put out New Jack City, I'm like, yo, y'all sitting there, y'all playing right now. Because y'all sitting there, y'all playing with everybody's emotions
You
that
already
are
know.
trying to come up, but we doing what we doing, but then y'all sitting there and you telling us that we shouldn't be doing what we doing. But y'all gave us what y'all gave us, so we trying to live.
Yeah. So, man, listen.
Yo,
We could go on about this topic.
Yo, we could go on to
But
tomorrow.
on that note,
No lie, but we gotta get
on
up
that
outta
note,
here.
we got to get up out of here.
We
We gon' matter of fact, we gonna pick this up next week.
No,
Remember that.
Nah, definitely. We gonna
Alright,
pick it
so
up because on some real shit, yo, as black and brown people, we forget where the situation is.
Right.
And we need to understand. We need to open our eyes up enough
Right.
to be able to understand what's going on. And we sit there and we fall into the propaganda of what's going on right now.
Right.
With you had a president that sat there and was like, "Yo, fuck it, I'm gonna kill some nigga across the world."
Nah,
just
we ain't gonna do that. Listen.
Just because he says something.
Listen,
3 years
we
ago.
coming back next week, bruh.
Yo.
We coming back next week. right now we about to get into this comfort zone. So we about to take a break. I'll be back in a minute, and y'all enjoy this music. You heard?
So you already know is billionaires. Oh shit, is B.O.B. B.O.B. I know it stands for something. No disrespect to y'all, but we about to play y'all music.
It's bags of billions, baby.
Oh, there you go, bags of billions. Bags of billions, baby.
Let's go. I wake up to get this cake up. I open my eyes. My weatherman is Mother Nature. I vibe for the skies. Spread my wings and I can fly. That's how I talk when I'm high. I can walk it like I talk it. I ain't telling no lie. Jada spaz when they ask, put my name on the back. They phony fake it till they make it say my name and they mad. Had to make it flipping bacon. Don't be beef in my pad. You know I'm Haitian. Got Jamaicans off the piece in the map. I'm banking the cash. No ATM deposit the stash. Headshot, I'm talking Sonic. I be moving so fast. Let me stop. I'm spitting knowledge. Take a seat in my class. All facts. Never been the type to talk out the ass. I went from rags. I got rich when I got bags. We ain't come out the same, but we went down the same path. And if I got bags, then he got bags. So if we got bags, then you do the math. I'm like, listen up. Money, respect. We be on this rap shit, but we all about checks. B.O.B. bags and it's on to the next. Don't step to my shit, cause I leave you upset. Niggas already know what it is. B.O.B. Stand down or stand up. What up?
Hey yo, it's me, Five God, yeah you see, yeah I'm one of the best. You think not, put your money up, let's double the bets. See I've been waiting for a chance and I'm just hoping I'm next. For now I'm straight getting paper and I'm just popping up checks. Cause I'm all about the bag and I don't settle for less. Counting figures with the team and I don't fuck with the rest. A lot of niggas switch sides, should be wearing the vest. A lot of niggas turn bitch, should be wearing the dress. See if a nigga act foul, he get hit with the text. Some niggas really gotta go, so just send me the text. I've been banging since a youngin' and I die for my set. Cause I don't ride for the streets, yeah I ride for respect. Bags.
All I wanna know what's real.
What's real, what's real, what's real?
We out here getting dollar bills.
Dollar bill, dollar bill, dollar bill.
All I wanna know what's real.
What's real, what's real, what's real?
We out here getting dollar bills.
Dollar bill, dollar bill, dollar bill.
All I wanna know what's real.
What's real, what's real, what's real?
We out here getting
Dollar bill, dollar bill, dollar bill.
Yeah. This one for all my gay ones. Let's go. Nigga, no. I see it right.
This is the Legion.
I got my amigo, then my brother. We ain't tricking, we ain't slipping, we too focused. I got my amigo, then my brother. We be drinking, we be smoking, we be loaded. I got my amigo, then my brother. No, we flexing in this section, no, you notice. I got my amigo, then my brother. We ain't tricking, we ain't slipping, we too focused. Yeah. All of my brothers official, on point like a missile. Group of linemen, we just linemen, no time for the sneak dissing. I'm just trying to get it bankroll. That my homie think the same too. No, we hitting, we a big business, spitting game dog, we don't never lose. Nah, it ain't intimidation. We just a bigger statement. My homies they ride, no switching no sides. I can't hang around with fakers. That ain't how a brother move. No, you sure you gon' choose. Look, he sick, got the flu. I can't tell him what to do. None of my brothers is like that. We get excited when we divided. That mean everybody eating. No, we flexing this weekend. That's my dog, that's my homie. He ain't never acting phony. To the top where we going. We double up, we emotion. Then my brother. We ain't tricking, we ain't slipping, we too focused. I got my amigo, then my brothers. We be drinking, we be smoking, we be loaded. I got my amigo, then my brothers. No, we flexing in this section, no, you notice. I got my amigo, then my brothers. We ain't tricking, we ain't slipping, we too focused. Yeah.
Yeah, man, you know what it is, man. B double N in this. That's what we do all day, every day. We get to that bag, we chase that bag. It ain't none of that. You heard? All day. Let's go. Hey, DJ Chef. I'm representing for my brother, always 100. That's my guy, my right hand. Shout out to anybody listening to this track. You know what it is, man. B-double-A.
Novocaine Records. Novocaine
Anywhere you want, I take you anywhere you want. Anywhere you want, I take you where you want.